we'll have to start wrapping things up soon. So very quickly, the England job might be up soon. Obviously, heartbreak for them last night in the Euros. I didn't have to join into a planning meeting about England win the final, so I was all right with it, but a lot of other people weren't. Gareth Southgate may move on. Is the England job just the absolute perfect job for Jurgen Klopp?
Would that be because you wrote an article about that this morning?
But also because I genuinely think that if you're England and you look at some of the players, the managers on the shortlist, Graham Potter, being one of them. I just think give it a year, try and get through the next year with either Lee Carsley, who could do well, Spain's manager, was a former youth team manager, or ask Gareth Southgate to put his nation first. He seems a very patriotic man, and just get him to sort of carry on for a year or so, give Klopp the time he needs, and then go in and say, do you fancy an international job? Because I think with Klopp, I don't know whether I can see him taking another club job. I don't necessarily think he wants the intensity of it.
I suppose time will tell. Klopp probably won't know himself until he's had a year out of the game, and does he miss it and the relevance he can put back up with. I think if all the kind of reasons that Klopp highlighted why he stepped down for his job at Liverpool was kind of the intensity, the pressure, not the pressure, but the kind of the media focus. Yeah. And I think yes, an international job is part-time per se, but with the England job it's it's like a different level of intensity, and I'm sure that people view the Germany job over there as the same, but it just feels like any England manager, Southgate's probably been the one who's maybe booked the trend, but they're almost waiting for you to fail the meet. Do you know what I mean? So it feels like
they always do, don't they? So that I think to me, I look at it and just think you can go months without even anyone mentioning your name, and then you play a couple of qualifiers, and you go, and that process starts again. But I think with Klopp, if England got Klopp, he would unite. I see Alan Shearer saying, but he's German. I mean, if England got Klopp, the country would surely be behind that. I mean, if you're an England football fan and they get, arguably alongside Pep Guardiola, the most high-profile man in world football, probably the best football personality in world football in terms of Ian Kroll, sitting over there from the faces, but he is Ian. In world football, surely that brings people together and they go, well, you know what, we can really do things with this man, and I think he can inspire much more than Gareth Southgate can.
Yeah, I think from England's perspective, if they could get Jurgen Klopp, it'd be a massive coup. I think the football that he'd be able to play, obviously, I think the biggest criticism of Gareth Southgate's England, certainly this tournament, is that they haven't been sort of proactive enough, they haven't been aggressive enough, they've been content to just sort of sit back and soak up pressure, and that's not Jurgen Klopp's way at all, is it really? He's very front-footed, and I think that his style of football would very much appease the England fan base. I think he's an exceptional orator and leader, and all of that I think would be fantastic for England. I'd be more thinking if I was Jurgen Klopp, do I want the hassle? Because I think I don't know, maybe
what would you want the hassle with? The USA job where there's just basically on holiday?
I can't see him taking that one.
No, I think he's got
to go and have the hassle somewhere.
Yeah, I think there's probably there feels like an element of inevitability that he'll manage Germany one day, and maybe the people from Germany feel the same about the Germany job. They might feel like that's an awful lot of I don't know.
I think they most probably do. I think that the difference is the pressure of not winning something in such a long time, but then he took that on at Liverpool and obviously got that monkey off Liverpool's back. And I think with Germany, again, it feels natural that you might want to go and take the Germany job. But then Nagelsmann went and signed the contract.
And he's going to at least have the World Cup. So if Klopp gets the feel for management again, I suppose, next summer.
Yeah. The other thing is, will he want to live in England? It sort of feels like he's maybe...
You can live in Mallorca after the year, can't you? And then just come back to St George's Palace.
Well, that's the other part that I've always thought about international football, and especially recently whilst there's been the whole conversation about Klopp, is that, and I know you mentioned in your piece, Joe, but would he have the time to implement his methods? And I understand. I know you kind of countered that by saying, he never really got training time during the season with Liverpool, but he did have 6 weeks at the start of the season, 8 weeks, whatever, and he had the same. He had a small, a tight knit squad. With England, yes, you might have the same, 15, 16 players, but that 25-man squad might fluctuate 8 or 9 players each time. So, does it? Would it get the best out of Jurgen Klopp? I'm not sure.
I do think him and Pep, as much as he said that all of the reasons that he wants to step down from Liverpool, and therefore sort of the natural progression is into international management. I think, I don't know, is he a bit too much of a control freak to be an international manager? Do you know what I mean? Not having the control of the players for 3/4 of the year. I don't know.
I just think with international managers, and I think this is why you see lots of almost obscure managers who then don't go on to do a great deal. You just have to have you have to be a good motivator, you have to be a good organiser, you have to be a good orator, and almost tactics. I'm not saying they play a second fiddle, because obviously you've seen Spain play a very good style, but I think that if you can get the first three right, tactics will fall in. That's why I think with Klopp, yeah, he would want time on the training pitch, but I don't necessarily think he'd need as much time as he would with a Liverpool club team going at it week after week. So I don't know. I think that job would suit him down to the ground. I'm not saying I think he will take it. I just think that it would suit him.
The question is, if Klopp was to be England manager, would you be down at Wembley with Theo, or
no? Let Theo do his thing.
I do think as well that is, like, strangely enough, a factor that I think he probably would consider in terms of how divisive the England team is in Liverpool, and the relationship that a lot of people from Liverpool, a lot of supporters of Liverpool have with the England team. I'm not saying it would stop him from taking the job, but I definitely think Klopp is the sort of person who would consider that before.
It's a betrayal, maybe.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.